Well, okay. It would appear everybody's very happy this Sunday, except for a fat guy in the White House, which is cool. You know, I know there's more to do. That a lot of things can happen in the courts and whatnot, especially since they're stacked with a lot of the Trumpsters' people. So I wouldn't completely relax yet, but I would say, based upon what I'm looking at in terms of results, I don't think he can overturn the election in any manner, shape, or form. Jared Kushner's already suggested to him that he concede, and that would be. I think he should just go in a corner and shut up. I don't want to hear him concede or anything else. I mean, some people get off on that, but I'm not going to get off on that, because he's not going to really concede. He's going to talk about 2024 and how the Republicans in the Senate need to shut down, control Biden, so he can't do anything that he wants to do. And I'm not so sure it's what he wants to do; it's what the people want to do. I think one thing this election showed, with the amount of people that came out, is that people are definitely upset with the way things are going. And I'm not so sure that it was just all Trump. I think they're upset with the government in general. And they just think that Biden's just a better representative of that government, and that he can possibly stop the division in this country, which, I don't know, it hasn't stopped. This country's been divided since the Civil War, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I tell you what my mother told me, and what everybody's talking about, is that you cannot survive in this world by yourself. You need everybody to survive. You can't, Russia can't survive without us. They think they can. That's Putin's problem. China realizes they can't survive without us because we're customers for their products. We're customers for their labor. They can't deal without us. We can't deal without China because they're customers for us. From an economic point of view, we all have to share together. We all have to be together. From a climate point of view, we all have to get on the same page. Trump taking us out of the climate conference is, I don't know whether that's good or bad. If he went ahead and did some things for the climate instead of rescinding all of the climate laws and everything like that, I think it would be a better thing. He's not a science person. I don't know what he is. I'm not so sure he's completely nuts, but I think he's got some problems there that I'm not sure he can handle on his own. I mean, I think that wherever he, some people blame his father, some people blame his family, his upbringing, and whatnot. I don't think that has a lot to do with what he is. I mean, he is what he is. He's gotten through life being able to bully and bullshit everybody. If he loses this election, this won't be the first major thing he's lost. It will be the one. If he walks away with nothing, then it will be the first thing he's really truly lost. Because in every other catastrophe he's been through, he walks away getting money out of the deal. I think he's going to try and pardon himself. I don't know whether that's possible. I've read that he can't. His pardons don't cover state issues; they only cover federal issues. I think the courts and the federal courts wouldn't get involved too much with him anyhow, because they're all stacked with his people. The local deal is it's a possible thing. He's an idiot. He's committed some crimes. I think he's been involved in some fraudulent deals, or at least his name's been attached to some fraudulent deals. I think Jared Kushner's next in line to be investigated and quite possibly have some charges against him. I don't think his daughter Ivanka is smart enough to do that. I think her Ivanka, the mother, that her name was his first. I think that's his first wife. Was the truly smart person. I mean, she was smart. She was as smart as Donald was. She managed to get money out of him in the divorce and everything. She walked away in good shape. Marla Maples didn't walk away in great shape. She walked away with a little bit of change. Mulaney, if she could walk away with a good piece of change, she would have done it. I think that she might now, or she might just wait for the fat prick to die. He's not going to go away. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people thought, that he goes away and he loses the election and he goes away, fades away. He won't be able to do it. He's got a lot of pull. There are a lot of people that like him. It's a divide in the country. He's a racist. There are a lot of racists in this country. There are a lot of people that blame a lot of people for their shortcomings. They blame black people. They blame everybody. Look, we've been racist since even before the Civil War. Look at the American Indian, the Native American, how they've been treated over the years. Their reservations are some of the poorest locations in the country. Even though they sometimes have casinos going, they're not making money. They're not getting rich. They were cheated out of oil rights. They're not well educated, and that's something we should do. I mean, there's a wealth of people there that if they were educated and you take in their work ethics and their desires, I mean, the more education they have, there's no telling what they can or can't accomplish in the world, And I feel bad for them every time I guess my mother got me into feeling bad for the Indians, because first of all, she told me I'm part Indian, and second of all, she sat around and told me that she used to root for the Indians in the movies. You knew the Indians were going to lose. She still rooted for them. She had a crush on Michael Ansara, who played Cochise on television. So, but it's necessary that we all live together, and we push people aside. The white people are going to be the minority in this country soon. That scares a lot of people. It's doing okay in South Africa. You can have fewer white people, but it's with you're still the bankers, you're still the politicians, you're still okay. I don't see a problem with that. I see the biggest problem is the Asian or the Indian people from Asia and whatnot, and I'm not being racist about this, but they're the cheap ones that come in here. That's the cheap technical labor that we get into this country, which prevents Americans. But I think Americans, because of the cost of living in this country, have a desire to make much more money than other people do. They think they deserve it. Years and years ago, I had a friend of mine come out of college and was offered a job at IBM at $10,000 a year. Now this is 1967. And 1967, $10,000 was a lot of money. He wanted somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 or 50. This is right out of school. Hadn't proved himself. Hadn't studied. It was an English major, applying for a job at IBM. So this is white people. This is what they feel entitled a lot. I have friends of mine that sit around and they say, I'm gonna, you go to work and you have sick days. Well, they take the sick days. Well, I'm entitled to them. They're mine. I need to get them. What they turn around, sick days, if you're not, you take like that, if you're not sick, they turn around to be non-productive paid days. That's what causes companies to lose money. AT&T, the people at AT&T showed me that when they first did their split and started laying off all these people, and firing people and whatnot, doing away with jobs and everything, and they turned around and showed that they were saving billions of dollars doing it that way. Because of the benefit packages these people had. Managers, that they did the second wave of layoffs, big layoffs at AT&T, was all management personnel. They had too many. They got rid of them, brought them back as consultants and saved, and they were saving an average of $75,000 a year per person that they brought back. I mean, that's all in the benefits, the sick days, and the health insurance and everything else. They were better off paying them more and not giving them the benefits, and they just and paying them as consultants. You don't have job security. What's job security now? Job security isn't what it was 50 years ago. You know, you went to work for the post office, you went to work for IBM, you had a job for life. That's not the way it works anymore. You know, you actually have to work to keep these jobs now. You can't just sit back and relax. You know, you get like a teacher gets tenure, and technically you can't. It takes like an act of Congress to fire them after that. The same thing in the post office. If you reach a certain level, it almost takes an act of Congress to fire you. You have to be fired for theft. You can't be fired for. Very difficult to fire somebody for conduct in the post office. I know, I worked there. But things have to change, and that's some of what I'm talking about has to change. You know, how we think about things. We're not entitled to anything. White, black, Chinese, whatever you are. You're not entitled to a damn thing. You know, except your life. Okay, what you do with it, that's up to you. You're not entitled to a great job. You have to earn it. You're not entitled to opportunity. You have to take it. And that's what I find out that people complain about when I talk about minorities and they talk about this, that, and the other thing. They complain about the fact that they feel entitled. People think I feel entitled to Social Security. I contributed to that my whole life. You know, I didn't ask for the money to be taken out. It was taken out automatically. So now they're paying me, and that's fine. Do I think I'm entitled to it? No, but I'm sure as hell glad I got it. I mean, without it, I'd be gone. You know. Listen, it's football Sunday. I gotta go put the games on. But I'm glad this hat turned out the way it is. I just don't think it's completely over yet. Because he's a real prick, this guy. So, but it might be some fun involved there. There might be some humorous things coming up. You know, watching him crack would be one of those things. But anyhow, have a nice day. I'll be back. Remember, the next important day in politics is December 14th. That's when the Electoral College validates their votes. All right? Okay. Talk to you soon.